The rule was they had to remove all of the native Irish from their land. Only 10% of the land was left for the native Irish to keep.
It's sort of like it's like an Indian reservation, isn't it? or the Highland clearances. It's an ethnic cleansing that's going on.
In the north of Ireland in the 1880s, it was unusual for a Catholic to own land. But Mark has confirmed that Jeremiah O'Mullen was not only a landowner, he owned hundreds of acres.
How he came by that, I don't know whether it was by inheritance or whatever. So I'm heading to County Londonderry to try and find out more about him.
Mark's come to the Guildhall in the city of Derry, in Londonderry, to meet historian Jonathan Barden.
Here he is.
Oh, that's a magnificent photograph, isn't it? Yes. It looks a bit like you.
I should hope so. Jeremiah O'Mullen, would he have inherited that land or from his own father?
Let's have a look at this survey carried out between 1848 and 1864.
There's that word again, Ashlamadaff.
And this is the main family holding in Ashlamadaff, which is right in the heart of the mountainous country.
George O'Mullen crossed out and replaced with Jeremiah.
We know that George O'Mullen was in fact Jeremiah's father.
The record shows that Jeremiah's father, Mark's great-great-great-grandfather, George O'Mullen, had occupied the family homestead at Ashlamadaff before his son. But unlike Jeremiah, George didn't own the land.
This is a tithe allotment book. I would say this document indicates that George, he's not a landowner at all. He's a tenant. It's poor arable land. It's a pretty small amount of land, so he's not particularly well off. Now, our next one it's a freehold lease.
To Mr. George Mullen, 1826. An indenture, and this is George O'Mullen, and he is leasing land in a place called Glack.
It's certainly a mystery when we find that Jeremiah is really a very substantial landowner.
Yeah.
But his father, George,
Was not.
clearly is not. How did that happen?
How did that happen? Are you telling me you don't know?
I don't know.
Oh, gosh. I was waiting for an answer. Well, yeah. So George doesn't have very much.
No.
And then Jeremiah has quite a lot.
George O'Mullen was a tenant on 2 plots of land in the 1820s, the family homestead at Ashlamadaff and farmland in nearby Glack. This land had been under British control for more than 200 years. It was in the province of Ulster, in the area which today is Northern Ireland. In the early 1600s, the English conquered the north of Ireland and seized Ulster from the native Irish chieftains. In 1609, King James I began what became known as the Plantation of Ulster to bring the unruly Catholic Irish under control.
He decided that he wanted to calm this place down by introducing good Protestant British. The most difficult place to attract British settlers to was O'Cahon's country. It was the most Gaelic part of Ireland. It was heavily wooded, it had wolves, it had wood kern or bandits in those forests. And so James approached the livery companies of London and managed to persuade them to involve themselves in planting this particular area.
The livery companies had developed from London's ancient guilds, such as carpenters, grocers, and fishmongers. They were made up of wealthy merchants, traders, and craftsmen. King James instructed them to colonize this part of Ulster.
The rule was they had to remove all of the native Irish from their land. Only 10% of the land was left for the native Irish to keep.
It's sort of like it's like an Indian reservation, isn't it? or the Highland clearances. It's an ethnic cleansing that's going on.
The livery companies failed to entice British Protestants to territory they feared was hostile. By George O'Mullen's time in the 1820s, the London landlords had no option but to lease to Catholic tenants. George rented his plot in the townland of Glac from a livery company, the Worshipful Company of Fishmongers.
If we look at this contemporary description of Glac here, dated 1835,
there is not a single landholder at present in the townland of Glac of any other denomination than Roman Catholics. The reason assigned for this singular instance in the above parish is that the entire of Glac was formerly
moss
and mountain altogether. Oh, you've got it there. That's what I was doing very well.
You were.
Formerly moss and mountain, altogether uninhabited, the Catholics were driven up to the mountains of Glac to colonize its cold and barren surface. That's fantastic. So where's Glac geographically?
Now, that map is about 50 years old. I got it in about 1965. But it does show the townland names, which is why I like to hold on to it.
Right. Glac.
Now, if we can find the foot of Lochermore Mountain, and you should be able to find Glac.
There's Glac.
There's Glac. Don't forget, it's mountainy land. It was
pretty remote.
It was pretty remote.
Pretty wild.
Before the Plantation of Ulster, the whole area would have been O'Cahan land. And Lord O'Cahan, in his territory, he lorded it over other Gaelic gentry. Beneath him would have been the O'Mullens.
Right. Yeah. So I'm gentry. Just say this. I'm an Irish Time Lord. That's all I need to know.
You are descended from an Irish Time Lord. You are a Time Lord, yes.
Or a lord at least.
Because those lords were, in earlier times, kings. So certainly the head of the O'Mullen clan, the head of the O'Cahan clan, would have been a king. At one stage in Ireland, in the early Christian times, there were about 200 kings in Ireland.
Too many.
Too many.
Let's narrow it down. Ancient Irish kings, that does the heart proud.
I'm deeply aware there are lots of O'Kanes and O'Mullens around here. So I'd have to devise some sort of kind hearts and coronets type plan to knock off all my relatives in order to claim the kingship. But I did want a murderer in the family, so maybe it's going to be me.